Hey, what's up? It's your boy Carcino here. I would like to say salute to everybody out there and want to say good morning to those who weren't up earlier today. When we spoke about Giannis addressing the media, you guys are probably asleep. Sorry about that. Save it for the Patreon. Well, we got a lot of stuff coming for the Patreon, all in one swoop. Now, here's where this is going to get a lot interesting, people, because a lot of people want to know, where is Jimmy Butler going? Jimmy, who wants that big boy check. Jimmy wants that big money. Pat Riley isn't about paying big money. He's got big ideas for some European white boys. He don't have big plans for Jimmy Butler leading the team anymore. Jimmy is 35. And a 35-year-old player at this juncture is not what you want to build your team around. It's for a team that already has the pieces in place. And Miami knows they're not going to win with Jimmy Butler. They finally have come to the realization they're not going to win with Jimmy Butler, and they're not going to want to pay hundreds of millions of dollars to not win with Jimmy Butler. And Pat Riley is old school. Where Pat Riley is from, Pat knows the ramifications and what comes along with that. He remembers when a dime bag of weed was a dime, and he don't want to pay a cent more than a dime for it. He would rather not smoke than do that. That's who Pat Riley is. So when you come at Pat Riley crooked, or in a way where you feel like what he's offered you isn't enough, Pat Riley will tell you to walk. As he told LeBron James, let LeBron go, let everybody go. It's rules and standards over here in a code. Come to Miami Heat, here's a code you're going to follow. No player is above another player on this team. That's just how it works. And Jimmy Butler has to buy into that. And if Jimmy Butler doesn't buy in, then he will learn just like everybody else. This is why a lot of superstar players did not go to Miami. A lot of superstar players did not go to the Miami Heat because they didn't like Riley's rules. LeBron has spreaded bad news about Miami for years. When he left, he wouldn't even play in Miami for a while until he got things warmed up with Pat Riley. After he won a chip in Cleveland, then he was warm to the idea of playing in Miami. He would find a way to avoid playing in Miami because he didn't like the way Pat Riley worded it when he said, run away from a challenge. And LeBron, he said, I'm a coward. You are a coward. So, you quit on the team and you ran. You cut and ran from Miami. Meanwhile, Jimmy took them to two finals, one in a bubble that didn't matter, and then one that did matter, and they lost. Each time undermanned. Now, who knows what the purpose is? Or or the situations. But let's go through the evaluation of where Jimmy's going to go now that they've arrived at this precipice point of Jimmy's going to have to be traded. Pat Riley's not going to budge. Jimmy's not going to fold. Do you know Jimmy Butler is scheduled to get $52 million on his next contract? 52. But it's a player's option. And he's going to opt out at the end of the year. Can you imagine opting out of $52 million? 52.4. He's going to opt out. So anybody who's trading for Jimmy before the trade deadline, you may only have him for half of a year, unless y'all could work out with a deal that you're going to keep Jimmy Butler on your team. You see, Jimmy Butler, he's going to still pursue another deal unless you guys could lock him down. And he's going to probably want to resign to the team that he goes to, depending on on where he goes. And plus, the team that trades for him is going to want to know Jimmy wants to be there long term. Now, the team that has the most money for Jimmy is the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets has the most money. The Utah Jazz, both of those teams are not trapped by the cap. They have a lot of resources, a lot of trade picks, a lot of everything. Those two teams, I don't see. Jimmy's not going to Utah. Let's just get that straight right now. So the Jazz is out. Brooklyn is a reliable place and could be a landing spot for them if they wanted to build the team around a 35-year-old man, because that team is in basically restructure mode. And they've done a lot with tradable players in the day. So there's some few teams with enough space, to put him on the team. But I don't see that as a fit for Jimmy Butler. Now, let's go to the Los Lobos, the Los Angeles Lakers. Yes, them boys. Now, them boys. Let's go to them. Now, when the general public of the world wants to know something or want to see a comparison into something, people always have this mystified opinion about Jimmy Butler and what he does and what he don't do as a player, and how his attitude is and where would he fit. Now, when you start thinking of Jimmy Butler and LeBron James playing on the same team, you basically got dominant personalities on a team, but from different standpoints. LeBron is more of a pouty beta, while Jimmy Butler is the pouty alpha male. And he commands all of the attention. I don't think LeBron would want that, because he should know more than anybody what is to happen here. Mm-hmm. Well, the Pistons are looking upwards in their position, so they're not looking at Jimmy Butler. They have a team full of young players, and I don't think Jimmy Butler's looking to go to Detroit. Okay, yeah, it's just not gonna happen. The Los Angeles Lakers would have to give up. Oh yeah, 100%. Hmm. Oh, without a doubt. No, no. The Lakers, they got a lot of pieces. The Lakers are not gonna. Well, they're not gonna want Gabe Vincent back in Miami. Not for the prices that they're paying for him. And if they do, you're gonna be talking about Cam Reddish, D'Lo, who they definitely don't want. D'Angelo Russell, they don't want D'Lo in Miami. He will get in the way with Tyler Hero, and they don't see that as a good combination to mix with the two. And this is just not the approach, and they don't have the pieces, even though they have draft picks down the road. It's just LeBron's not going to be comfortable playing with Jimmy Butler. But I would love for it to happen. Please make that happen. I want to see that happen more than y'all do. Please, 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 with sugar on top, make that happen. Now, what's the next thing on the agenda? Well, here's the thing. Now, I want to be clear about it. The next team on this list, who everybody's excited about, who just jumped out of nowhere, is the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns, oh man, that'd be tricky if they could do it. Eliminate the Phoenix Suns altogether, unless they're willing to give up one of the big three, like Bradley Beal or Devin Booker or Kevin Durant. One of them would have to go in order for them to get Jimmy Butler. They are above the second apron, so they couldn't even take back salary in a deal. The only piece that could be used in a Butler trade is Booker or Durant, which isn't happening. So just eliminate the Phoenix Suns. Everybody, I don't even want to know why people like they're serious consideration. No, they're not. They can't. Fiscally, it can't happen. Bradley Beal has a no trade clause in his contract. So he would have to waive that to go back to a retooling in Miami. You really think that's going to happen? No, it's not. So please eliminate the Phoenix Suns off your list. It's not going to Phoenix. Jimmy Butler going back to the Chicago Bulls. Why would he want to go to a dying team? Okay, at this point in Jimmy's career, he's 35. He's going to want to go to a team that is something he can embrace. He feel that they're on a verge where he can make an impact and take the team further under his lead. In Chicago, there's no direction. Mainly head coach, right? Head coach. Stability at the head coach position is key for somebody who's 35 years of age, like Jimmy Butler. He's going to want to go someplace where he knows that the head coach ain't on the hot seat, where they finna start a whole new change once another coach come in. The Bulls, they might be right back in the firing the coach. This is so you don't want to go there. So eliminate the Chicago Bulls. All this trade for Zach LaVine. He's not going back to the Chicago Bulls. Eliminate them. Okay. Now, right, you got to get realistic when you start doing this stuff. Now, a realistic approach, the Dallas Mavericks. Now, that's more realistic, but let's go through what could happen here and why it might not happen. First of all, Luka is not going to get along with Jimmy Butler. That's not going to mesh well. He's going to be a bad energy for Kyrie and Luka. Right? He'll be taking over the role of what P.J. Washington was doing. P.J. Washington's role was completely altered once Klay Thompson came and joined the team. Now P.J. is not getting the time that he would require. Plus, you would have to lose Dwight Powell, Quentin Grimes, Maxi Kleber, Gafford maybe, because you're going to keep Lively, and P.J. Washington. You have to give up 2 first-round picks as well. And the fit for the Mavs, would that really be so great if Butler needs the ball in his hands at best, to create his own shots? That's Luka and Kyrie's role. They don't need Jimmy Butler. He would be in the way. So don't expect him to go there. Everybody's favorite team for him to go to, though, the Golden State Warriors. Let's talk about them Warriors. They could make this happen. The actual Golden State Warriors can get Jimmy Butler to be their third. Yep, absolutely can. See, the Warriors on the championship team as currently constructed. They do have an avenue to get there. Steph Curry is still playing like an all-time NBA player. They just need one more guy, right? They've looked at Jimmy Butler before. Now they got time to get this deal done. And Jimmy could be the guy they needed, right? Might have to lose Kuminga and Wiggins in your picks, but why would you give up Kuminga, who's your young talent that you could build around going forward? You put all this work into Kuminga just to give him to somebody else for a 35-year-old? That's kind of crazy. Now, Wiggins, I would let go, but I would keep Kuminga, of course. The Warriors have salaries. They have some assets they could do. Moses Moody has come along well. They're going to probably want to keep Moses Moody on the team and don't want to lose him, but they have a lot of other pieces they can move. Pat Riley don't like bottoming out. This probably isn't the change he's going to want to go. He's about to turn 80. A trade with the Warriors could bring back some, solid veterans that could help the team afloat. while they try to replenish that, draft pick that Kaminga was in the door with. But if the Heat do shop Jimmy Butler, the Golden State Warriors is probably the team that's going to make the most sense, except for one. The team that I think he's going to. Everybody putting him on the Warriors. I really don't see him fitting in good with the Warriors to a degree. It's going to be like two Draymond Greens. You're going to have Draymond and Draymond Jr. And when Draymond and Jimmy Butler blow up at each other on the team, the whole team will implode. And then they're going to blame Jimmy Butler for the whole thing. And Draymond going to probably punch him in practice. But Jimmy going to hit him back. So I just don't think that's a good fit. The only team I see that is fit for Jimmy Butler to go to that I think is one player away, and that's the Houston Rockets. I think Jimmy is going there. I think that's the best fit for him because they have enough money to re-sign him when he opts out of his deal for $52 million. At the end of the season, he's going to opt out and wants to sign a long-term deal. They have all the flexibility in the world. And they got a lot of young talent. It's the young superstar, Jaylen Green. His deal is, around, and he's an all-star player. He'll fit good in Miami, and he'll take that position that they needed gratefully. And you got young, promising players to trade. You have Dylan Brooks on the team. You have a lot of teams dedicated to defense. You know that coach that's there. You know he doesn't play. You know his system. You know how he likes to get down and dirty. You know he's not going anywhere. So you got guys to help you out. The Rockets are one of the top teams in the West, though, with that young core dedicated to defense and shutting people down. Now, they say it's an unlikely choice that he's going to go to the Houston Rockets because he wants a chance to win a championship and doesn't feel Miami is right to win a championship with him right now. But Jimmy's going to want to lead the team. Everywhere he's been, he's led the team. He went to Chicago, even with Derrick Rose. Jimmy ended up leading the team. Went to Minnesota. Cat was the guy. They had Wiggins and Cat. He comes there. He ends up leading the team. Everywhere Jimmy goes, he ends up leading the team. Miami leading the team. 76ers, Joel Embiid was there. Jimmy ended up leading the team. So wherever he goes, he leads the team. Yes. Well, you have to add into consideration what's happening. Why would they trade Jaylen Green for a 35-year-old Jimmy Butler? Makes no sense, does it? But Jaylen Green might want a lot of money. The way they're geared to playing it doesn't fit the style of Jaylen Green. He comes in, he likes free form. He plays more like Campman. They get up and down the court. They play facing the basket only, pull up jump shots. So they play the same type of game. So it's hard to get those guys to buy into defense. Um, they've been reining these guys in on help defense and things of that nature, but he would fit more with the running gun style of the Miami Heat. They want to go back to those days. And Spo is gearing the offense built around more Euro basketball and getting Euro players in handoff passes. And then with his athleticism, he'll do great. I think Jimmy wants to go to the Warriors more than any team. The Rockets is close to his home. He'd be back in Texas. He'd be good to go. But I think really he wants to go to his heart is in Golden State. I think that's where he wants to go. I just don't think Golden State is that sold on Jimmy Butler as him being a model citizen, and Steve Kerr can keep Jimmy in line when Jimmy have his moments. He's got into it with every head coach he's ever been coached by. But they was like, Kerr has dealt with Draymond Green. He can deal with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy's a whole different type of headache. See, Draymond is the type of headache where it's just Draymond when he goes off. Man, I don't care. I like yellow over brown. I said it's yellow. So, him and Steve Kerr is going to argue back and forth and just go completely insane. All right? Jimmy's the type to be disruptive to the point where he get other people on his side. That's when it's more dangerous. He starts recruiting other people to agree with his side of the notion. And all he takes is 1 and 2, and it spreads till you have a division of a team. And then now you have a problem. He said after getting whipped by OKC, Kuminga for Jimmy rather than Green. After getting, I don't think they're trading Draymond Green. You don't trade Draymond for Jimmy. As long as Curry is playing for the Golden State Warriors, Draymond will be there. Well, today's a big day. It's the Warriors rematch with Dallas. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's going to get even more worse for him. Well, people already know what everybody can foresee what the notions are or the narratives. Yeah. Oh, he meant Jaylen Green. Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Jimmy is the type to fight a coach. Yes, I bet on sports, and I will be putting my picks on the Patreon. I always do like my Sunday picks of the day. hmm Basketball, NFL. I had 4 or 6 picks up there. Yes, yes, yes. Mm. Now, the Dolphins and Texans game. That's going to be a hard one. hmm Yeah, so I believe he's going to go to Houston, but that's why I see it's the better fit for him, especially re-signing. But it's between them and the Warriors. That forget any other team. Yeah, that's the best thing to do because there is like no other thing to do. hmm I don't think, no, I don't think the Texans um, are going to win that game. A lot of people think they are. I don't believe in them winning that game. So, mm-mm. I think it's going to be quite interesting. hmm Jimmy Butler going another place like that is always going to turn some heads because of the way it's done. You know, when you see Jimmy Butler in a scenario like that, you don't think of Jimmy Butler as something of stature. But who knows? Just might pan out. Think the Lakers will beat the Grizzlies? Depends. Will Brian make his entrance? Will he do his Willis Reed? You know, he ain't gonna come back unless it's a primetime game. He wants everybody to see it. Hmm. Yeah. So if you go on my Patreon, you're gonna have a lot of updates today. You're gonna have my picks. Hmm. Well, you want to make sure. Yeah, you're gonna want to make sure you got everything correct. Hmm. Yeah, well, sports is sports, man. That's just how you got to look at it. Well, Brandon Ingram, he's in a contract year. He's going to be looking to leave New England. I mean, New England, the New Orleans Pelicans. They're going to trade him. So Brandon Ingram's going to be moving. A lot of people think he's going to the Detroit Pistons. Cam Johnson is being moved. He's being moved to another position. Well, in this year, they have to get, if they're going to Jimmy Butler, they got to get Jimmy Butler now. Jalen Green, you kind of going to want to get rid of him unless you're going to make him your future and saying we're going to stick with Jalen Green and pay him the money. Now, if you have no intentions of paying him the money, you trade him and get something for him to let him leave for nothing. This happened with Shaq in Orlando and vice versa. Hmm. Well, I think it's time. Hmm. I don't see a lot of things going in the direction of how people see it when it comes to professional sports. I really see a lot of pieces of the puzzle not really adding up or getting to that level. Hmm. Yeah, Cam Johnson could be going to the Detroit Pistons. I could see that happening. I don't know if B. Stu stays with Detroit. He might go on a trade for Cam Johnson. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna try to bet my buddy on this Steelers game. You want to bet Steelers versus Eagles? Let me know. I got the Eagles. See if he wants to take that. Yeah, let's see what he say to that. Cause I'm serious, man. I'm so sincere. Yes. When others say jump, the others will say how high. Yes, absolutely. Browns are getting the upset. That might happen. I actually bet the Browns. Mm-hmm. And that's asking for a lot. We got a 20 team league, so we got our playoffs starting today in fantasy football. So it's going to go down. Yeah, we got a lot of nice pieces that people are going to want to strip mine. for their teams. Mm. Yeah, and Njoku, the guy who cost me a damn victory in fantasy football. All I had to do was go up against him. I had 10 points. I felt safe. But let me go ahead and get my fantasy football together. If you want my picks of the day, go to the Patreon. For my Patreons, go over there and get ready. Peace. Let's see Jimmy Butler in Houston.